Okay, so when we're entering the bus, we want to make sure that the doors are secure, seals are good, the windows and glass is good, and everything is secure and not going to cause a hazard at all. On entering the bus, the handrails need to be secure, steps need to be secure as well. Make sure there's no trip hazards for any students getting on. And basically every little bit of equipment that's at the front of the bus, we're going to be making sure that they're secure and that they're doing what they should be doing. You don't want to be driving down the road and then suddenly something falls down and it's not doing what it should be doing. Joette's also checking the paperwork here. So she's making sure that the documents agree with the bus that she's actually driving. Fire extinguisher, she's checking it's secure and that it's in the zone. Everything's in place. And we're just going to take off the brake mate here and turn our four-way flashers off and just put the brake mate away. Right, now Joette's in the driver's seat. We're going to check the instruments. First button Joette is pressing is the strobe light. Okay, so Joette's put the strobe light on. Unfortunately, she has to walk out here quite away from the bus to actually see on top of the roof that the strobe light is working. Okay, so now we're checking the operation of all the rest of the instruments that we need to check. So we're checking the operation of all the heater controls, both low and high setting. And then going to check the driver dome, making sure the light works, and also the lights for the bus, which Joette's going to check in the student mirror. And working our way around, checking the operation of the fans, low and high setting. They both work fine. We're checking our seatbelt cutter, making sure that's in place should we ever need it. Operation of the wiper blades, also including the wiper fluid and washer fluid, making sure that's working properly. There we go, so that's clearing. And we're making sure that it doesn't streak or smear or it's going to cause us any problem when we're driving. Checking the play of the steering wheel and the operation of the horn. Yep, that works well. And checking around, making sure everything's secure, everything's in place, nothing's going to fall off, cause a hazard or a safety concern when we're driving. Two-way radio, we want to make sure we're on the right channel. Obviously, if we're in different buses every day, we want to be on the right channel, and we want to make sure that the volume up so we can hear the dispatcher. So we're going to do our air test now. First part of the air test is that our maxi is pushed in and Joette's just bleeding the brakes, so she's got nice long brake applications. That warning buzzer is the low air pressure warning buzzer that's come on around about 65 to 70 psi. And Joette's going to keep emptying the tanks, and we're looking for the maxi to pop, in effect the parking brake to come on at a minimum of 25 psi. In practice it should be a little bit before that. We're approaching 30 and we're expecting the maxi to pop anytime now. And there it goes. So the bus has been started. We're looking for the dial to reach 50 psi in the primary tank, in the first air tank. And once we get to 50 psi, we are then going to ensure that the air pressure system is loading at the appropriate rate. And we're looking for the bus to gain its pressure between 50 and 90 psi in a maximum of 3 minutes. Okay, so we're checking our air pressure, making sure that we are loading 50 to 90 in a maximum of 3 minutes. Most important here that it's just on tick over. We're not actually giving any more throttle. And once we reach 90 psi, within 3 minutes, that's that part of the test done, that we're loading at the appropriate rate. Joette's pushed the maxi in because we don't want to compound our brakes. And she's now given it a little bit of helping hand as well. So we're now helping the air system to load quicker, we want to check that we actually enter the unloading stage at a maximum of 135 psi. So what's going to happen is the governor's going to tell the compressor, once we get to maximum 135, to stop loading, to enter the unloading stage. In practice, it's going to be around about 125, and there we go. It's just gone off. So what we're going to do now is turn the engine off, turn our dials back on, wait for the dials to come up, and then one full hard brake application all the way down and hold to start the air leakage test. Okay, so the air leakage test, maximum air leakage is 3 psi in 1 minute. Difficult to see on the dial, so we've got to hold that brake down for a whole 1 minute without moving, because if you move the brake, there's some air that's going to be used. So we also have the window open just to try and hear any audible noise of any air leakage. So once that minute is done, which it is now, we can relax, take the foot off the brake, start the bus back up. And now once the bus has started up again, we give 2 full brake applications. And then off the brake. And we just want to make sure that the system has gone back into the loading stage, that there is air pressure loading into the system again. So we're looking for those dials to start rising again on the primary tank, which we can see now, and we're happy with that. So now we're going to fight it, and we're going to empty the tanks and make that maxi pop once more. So what's going to happen? Now we're taking air out of the system. The low air pressure warning is going to come on around about 65, 70 on these buses. The system's trying to load, but we're trying to empty it quicker. So we're just going to keep emptying, and we're looking for that maxi to pop again at a minimum of 25 psi. In practice, it's going to be around about 30 or 35. So we're nearly there now. Last few applications. One more and we should do it. There we go. And that completes the air test. So now we're going to check our light sequencing. So the first thing we're going to do is check our left blinker. So our left blinker's on, and we're going to check it in the left cross view mirror to make sure it's working. Next, we're going to put on our amber lights, and again in the cross views we're going to check that they're both working at the front, and we're going to put the bus into reverse. And now in reverse, the parking brake is on, the chocks are in place, so we're all secure. So we're now going to take a walk down the bus, and we're going to check the security of the bottoms of the seats on our way down. Not forgetting, on the left-hand side of the bus, we're going to check the operation of the emergency exits. Open them nice and wide, make sure they're fully open, and make sure the alarm comes on. Okay, so checking the seats coming to the back door. So that's going to open the rear door. Just going to make sure it secures in place and it's locked, so it's not going to go black on her. She's checking the operation of the amber lights, making sure that the left blinker is working, making sure that both reversing lights are working. That's all good. Now I'm going to secure the door and the alarm door. Okay, walking back, we're checking the security of the backs of the seats to make sure there are no loose seats. Not forgetting to check the emergency exits on the right side of the bus. Alarm works, now secure. Don't forget, when you get to the roof hatch, we need to check the operation of the roof hatch. So the way to do this is just pop it open, check the alarm, does open, and close it. So when you get back in the driver's seat, make sure you put the bus back into neutral. So now alarm off, cancel the left blinker. Now we want to test the right blinker. So put the right blinker on, put the high beams on, and now we're open the door to activate our red lights. And now we can exit this. Okay, so exiting the bus, we're making sure that the crossing arm is out and secure, creating that safe space at the front of the bus. We're checking that the red lights are operating, our high beams are operating, and our right blinker is operating. And we're also having a look under the bus because the engine's now running and we want to make sure that we're not dropping any fluid or having any leaks. Okay, walking around the left-hand side of the bus, the stop sign is out, make sure it's out properly, make sure all 4 lights are working. Okay, checking the rear of the bus. So we're checking the operation of the stop lights, the red lights at the back. We're checking our right blinker, our 4 tail lights are all operating correctly and that everything's in order. And then walking around the right-hand side of the bus, we can now remove our chocks. Okay, on entering the bus as well, make sure at this point that the passenger lights are working, the door lights, so that students can see when entering or leaving the bus. Okay, so when getting back into the driver's seat, we're going to cancel the lights that we've just checked. So we cancel our right blinker, cancel our high beams, and close our door. Okay, and now we're going to perform one of our brake tests. We've got 2 brake tests to do. So we're going to do a tug test, and we're going to do this in reverse. So as we're driving, we're going to put seatbelt on. We're going to put the bus into reverse, 4-way flashers on. And when it's safe to do so, we're going to check our mirrors, 2 toots on the horn, and we're going to check that our parking brake holds the bus. The second brake test is a service brake test. Bus in drive, go forward about 10-20 feet. Brake application, come to a stop. Okay, so now we can turn the bus off. So all we have to do now is do our child check. So just quick walk to the bus, back of the bus, checking that no child is left on. We've got plenty of time just to press our child check alarm at the back. All done. Okay, so now we've checked the physical condition of the bus. 2 things we need to complete before we're out on the road. We need to complete the pre-trip book. So we fill that in, mark up any defects we've found, and just completely fill in the whole book before we take the bus out on the road. And secondly, at the same time, we change our driver's log for our change of driving status. All right, so that completes the whole of the pre-trip. Thank you for your attention. Hope you've enjoyed it. Safe driving.